Hey, it's Coach PK, and I'm here with Priit Mihkelson, who's known mostly for defensive jiu-jitsu. Today we're going to cover a topic called the click. What is the click, Priit?
I actually don't know. First joke, yeah. Clicks are like attachments you can have, and for me, if I explain it very like long-winded way, it's like the way I can fine-tune a position. Like if I'm somewhere and if the click is near, like reachable, and I don't kind of like expose anything else, that's kind of fine-tuning the structure. I can have it or not have it, and I give you also examples by that. But it's a fine-tuning tool for finding where I have to be. Obviously, I know the sport is dynamic and everything is moving, then it's harder. But if we dial it down to not movement, we can actually recognize a certain way, and we know where to grab, and so the positions are even stronger. So,
can you give an example of one?
Yeah. So let's say side control. Yeah. So let's say typical, I would do this, yeah? I would be in side control. If I would just defend, they're like free to move, but I can actually like click, yeah? I can have a pulling grip and this. If I would be in a weird position a little bit, so I would have to do like something like this, and then it's already like a maybe side control or like arm triangles and stuff. But if my angle towards them is good, and this click just works, yeah? I can always have pushing ones, yeah? But then usually what I mean by click, this is from I don't know how
Legos?
like English, they have like a jackets, and they have like those metal buttons that go like click. Yeah. So I actually mean them, yeah? And then I can have, push-pull stuff. They're actually stuck to me now. And it is energy expenditure, But if you want to go away, you actually have to pull away. And then I can extend also, But I make you very sticky to me, yeah? Yeah, so that's what I mean by when I mean clicks. There's a different way of some people just frame, I like to have certain things, and if I have a counter pressure to pull away, I'm very sticky to them, yeah? I can have obviously one, I can have both, and then I can use that to create defense and the escaping scenarios. I can do like a leg drag, let's say, go the leg drag, and this is more typical, yeah? If somebody teaches the leg drag, you will have those. So for me, this is the same click. It's like it passes the joint, so it locks the joint. So toes are under, yeah, and knees are over, and this creates I can break actually the ligament here, or like tendons, I think.
So can you show me a traditional leg drag? What would happen and what makes?
No, just if you do this, yeah. The leg is loose, yeah. So I actually kind of lock it, and I can just force your belly down also. Yeah. I think I said tendons, but I mean ligament control. I actually been hurt like this. Somebody did it to me. It's just, and so that's. You can also inside a little bit harder. You can have also that. Other way it's this, and leg is loose, it moves, and you can pummel it. But I can move, so it's really under control, So those are like examples. It's good when it's like a multi, passes a joint. So we call them also like super hooks. So let's say, give me the back. Yeah, so again, here, kind of same leg drag joint, I have a hook in, but I hook like this. And now it's sticky. If I just do this, you can pummel, and then it's really hard to control. But I create those tensions. Yeah, it's not new. Everybody does it. It's not like I only do it. But we call them clicks, and yeah.
Something to look for.
Yeah. So it's then you have to use the arm to get rid of this. So you have to, because if I control it, then you're stuck a little bit. So, and I know you have to address that. So I might leave it open, so it would actually touch it, and then you expose yourself. And then I get the arm or something. Maybe you're so defensive. So clicks are, for me, and if it's a wrong position, I can't click. So let's say if you hook, yeah, you're here, but I'm more behind. It's not the same thing, I can try it, but doesn't work. So it fixes my distance. So if I know I'm in a good position, click works, yeah. And if I'm a little bit off, it's not that sticky anymore.
Right.
So for me, it's like, I always tell that I can use it or not use it, but I have to be in a position that I can use it, yeah? And then if I need extra control, I can have it, but sometimes I don't, because I want looseness, I want them to move, whatever it is. Maybe I'm in such a good control. So it just it helps to fine-tune the structures. So you're doing this, I can click, okay, I can let go. But if I have to reach too far, yeah, that means already, for clicking purposes, I feel it's like exposing something.
Can you give me a physical example of that one? Like if you're reaching for something?
Yeah, so like in the beginning we did. let's say you will be here and I will be in a wrong position, then I couldn't click anymore, you know? It's all weird.
Right.
So, but if I'm in a good angle, it's effortless, you know?
Right.
I'm not exposing, it's like, boom, and I have to be like, you know, here, and then I pull it in. But if it would be, you know, here, I wouldn't do this right now, you know, and then pulling. Right. I would be already like, you know, getting up maybe. Right. So there is I'm not saying that the theory is perfect, you know. It's not being challenged, and people are like, what about this, and your theory doesn't explain this, and this is, you know. So for me, that's a guideline, and if somebody wants to be really picky about it, you know, this is wrong, I don't mind. Let's debate, because I'm not trying to find so much flaws in there. I just use it as a tool, and most likely it's correct, and it helps me to fine-tune things. And but there might be some flaws if you go deep in. That maybe it doesn't explain everything. Yeah, so I'm not gonna claim that, but it's really, for me, it's like a tool, like I said, to fine-tune. So I do it. Okay, I know I'm right, you know. And then the dynamics is also, you're moving around and stuff. But you can create also sticky frames, you know, I can follow with you with this.
Would you say all clicks or pushes and pulls at the same time?
Usually I would like to do like a click and then click.
Right, right.
Yeah. So recently I've been also teaching this mount. We've been put the knees on a mat. Yeah. I've been doing this. Yeah. So that's the pull and that's the push.
Right.
So now I'm managed, because I can actually push you there to expose, and I can actually push you there to actually push you there. Like it's a Hawking and Baby Rich move, you know?
Right.
I can go here, I can access, or I can elbow post and push. And if you try to break that frame, try to get rid of it, use your arms and stuff. It's pretty sticky. Yeah. And I sit up usually, because then it goes away, you know? So I can use it to follow you also, yeah? So we'll go mount again. So in that sense, I already see that there's like the way I explain it, this time it's like a little bit different, but here, you know, it's very easy to just go like, pump, you know, just grab. If I would be here, right, I would do different things. I would be like misplaced. I wouldn't grab that and pull, because I will expose. Because the problem here is, as soon as the elbow leaves the center line, you will attack my back. But as soon as you're in the right distance, right, and then I have this, then elbow is on the way. It's very, very hard to actually expose the back. So this is not only me. People sometimes, you can Google it, call it like Damien Maya grip or something. I don't know where I got it actually. So, and I'm sideways and everything else, all the baby reach and stuff, but it's a click I can have. Just to feel safe, you know? And then I can have more, you know, free, because I wanna play around and hide my weight and hide my intent. Or I can be very like, boom, and then they know where I am, you know? So it can be very feeling based, because that's I guess the point. If it's, you know, if it works, then, you know, let it go. Like, you know, boxing, I'm not saying those are clicks, but, you know, here you start and then you just, you know, a little bit move out. So the clicks are also very restrictive in a way. They put you in a place, but it's good when you're maybe beginner. Yeah, you increase certain certainty. Yeah, certain things will happen and it's more stable, less chaos. But if I do the same, you know, the side control stuff, if I don't use clicks, it's right away more chaos. Right. You move around more, you fight more. I have to, and that happens. So I think click makes it more stable. I use more energy also for that, obviously. And then certain things you do, and I can read you better. And then I would also say, if you're more experienced and training with more beginners, use less clicks and try to develop a feeling, what you feel, you know. And then just randomly try to get clicks, you know. So you learn where to reach and where to not, and maybe you get exposed or not. So I think for me at least, it's a tool I still use after talking about it, or have to make sense about it for me. There was a period of time when I was really sticky to those ideas. But now it's like, yeah, you can do this and that, but I still tend to use that, so that's a good sign.
I think we talked about this a long time ago about the word like connection, and like, you know, you can't have jiu-jitsu without connection. And I think Henner and Hiron were talking about connection allows you to predict, promote, and prevent. And I feel like when you had those grips in, you could feel where I'm going left or right. You can also stop my movement, and you can also like push me further than I want to go.
So with the connection, I don't know why. This is my bias, or being very like you know, silly. The connection doesn't click with me. Yeah, it's, you know, it's a
Sure.
second joke. So because connection is too vague. So I don't think it's wrong, you know. But let's say the hip-to-hip connection. Sure. But I feel the clicks are different. Clicks are, you know, really like a attachment with hooks, you know, like a boom. Yeah. So connection is just not like I push your shoulder. There's different frames, but those are the clicks. I mean, like really sticky. Right. You know, Gracies have done also like they pull you too close. Yeah. And then if you want to move, you actually have to go away and create space and slack and move. So they actually, I think there's a Haran Gracie video of him actually keeping the top guy very close so you can't actually move. And then when you want to push away, yeah, you push away. So, but I know that the hip-to-hip connection, you know, but you just follow. And sometimes for me, I don't know why, with connection is like, you know, like a football. Stay connected to the ball. You know?
What does that mean?
Yeah, what is that? It's like that also is a whole all obvious things that to play ball need. So sometimes connection for me, I know what they're trying to say, but it's too vague sometimes. Stay connected. Question is how, you know? And then because you can actually put the arm in front of the hips, you know, you can put the hip against the hip, you can put the knee, you know. So that's the that's the way you do it. But I think overall idea is stay connected, or you know, if you go like stay connected to your opponent, it's like, you know. It sounds like water is wet and it's like means something. Sure. So for me, I try to go more specific, like clicks, and it's not like, oh, stay connected. It's like there's specific ways we know where those clicks work. And I think it's when even we use the word connection, it's a specific way to connect that's really sticky. So I understand I can stay chest to chest and I can just stay connected to you know. Sure. But I feel like it's, yeah, that's like obvious thing to do. I'll keep the chest, you know, like a ecological make and maintain connection, you know. So maybe that makes more sense. But just overall, how, when, you know, maybe there's different ways. So click is more specific way, I guess.
I think it's interesting to feel it because I think there's probably two types of contact: either frames to maintain distance, or hooks that allow you to pull. But you were doing both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's like,
it's a different. I'm not saying it's the best, and then you know you need this. Long frames usually you can't keep for long. Yeah, because they were like exposed and people get past. Short frames are, let's say, yeah, like there's a now they talk about self framing, and you know there's also you know in open guard you do self framing.
Yeah, yeah.
But also I play this kind of thing, so it's different kind of self framing because I don't frame on a mat on myself an open guard and pummel. That's been like a nice term. I don't know how I call it. I call it also this self-framing. You know, I frame on my own, on myself, you know, differently. And then there's short frame, but like this, it's like a tight clinch, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you're using this elbow and push, so it's not like nobody else does it. It's like, but yeah, so I find those are clicks. When I talk about hip-to-hip connection, I don't call it, I'll click it, you know? Because I don't think that you can be that sticky. Yeah. It's more moving around, and this can be more sticky. So when I say clicks, I mean really like a very sticky frames. And they're really like, they're annoying because you can move around, you can control people. All the crab rides basically work with a very sticky grips, you know. So it's not like just stay connected. It's a specific way I manipulate your joint that you like, you're stuck to me a little bit, you know. So I'm trying to, I guess, find them, but usually go elbow joint, you know. You can do some like a forearm, let's say, shoulder, and then upper body. So you fix the shoulder a little bit, you know, and then knee joints obviously. And so they're not everywhere, but you can create that kind of torque pressure.
I think if you hunt for them, it'll click in, and you don't have to spend as much energy, right?
So yeah, so I don't want this video to also be like that. This is it, and this is the best. I'm interested in just all kinds of frames. Yeah, self-framing, long, short, you know. I know that Charles Harriott, you know, Clotter coach, does this frame. This is kind of free, you know, and then he uses the posting away, you know, and you have a tight clinch, you know, versions like, you know, you control. So, and I haven't found, I know the leg stuff people do, you know, for top of my head, Lachlan, you know, and everybody's the leg stuff, but I haven't seen so much that kind of on arms like I do, you know. Right. And they're not very rare in side control bottom, you know, because usually, let's say if you would do it, I don't usually push, yeah. I also, as I said, I would correct myself. Sometimes I don't do this because you can push my elbow away and choke, yeah. So that's why sometimes clicks are dangerous. If I follow you, if I just do this, I expose myself. Right. So I don't like those clicks. This is already, I'm creating reaction and I'm waiting for your mistake and you move. Right. So I also sometimes just feel safe and then, you know, I mess with you, but also wait for what you do. So what I mean clicks is like, I don't want them to expose me. So I do this, I'm not gonna do this, you know, and then you can push the elbow away.
yeah.
So it's like I have the same stuff, but I'm not gonna mess with you. But it's a small pressure,
Right.
but not that I expose myself. Yeah. So here also, it's like I would have to do it, but not like this. Maybe I can rate, pull here, and then I have this, but it's not enough for you to do like a arm
Take
triangle.
advantage. Yeah.
So there's clearly a way to.
You're predicting.
Yeah. And if I want to do more, then I know I'm exposing, and then I'm waiting for that reaction. Maybe you take it, because you have to know also that I know, we both know, and then we mess with each other. Could be a trap, I'm looking for ways to get out, actually, by creating one. Yeah, the bait you take, and then so there's that also. But clicks make it really uncomfortable, and I can be like, okay, no, now I react, So there's also the level.
Generate tension.
Yeah. But in the wrong place, I can't again create clicks. Yeah, they're too far away, they're too obvious. So I want to here, and I can expand. Not like the zero of the click is like expansion already. Right. That's already like I put myself unnecessary risk. So that's the idea I still use them. So, and I haven't refined them.
Can you show that reverse De La Riva hook from yesterday?
You mean like
you threaded it through and it made the top person really hard to pass?
With inside the river?
Yeah.
Wait, what
was it? Was it the step through? You step on my calf. Yeah. So was it for me? Who does it?
So you were playing the river.
Yeah.
Okay, I do it too. So I think it was a different thing we talked about, like side stuff. But let's say typical is that. Let's turn this way. Let's say everybody has that problem. If you do knee slide, if you do this, you grab my heel, yeah, and then you can lift and do stuff.
Right.
So, and this is the way toes are under.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really under pressure. Yeah. So I have toes under. Yeah. So I can have toes under, and then I do this, and it's really the important part is also you can't get to my heel. Yeah. You can't elevate. If my heel is up, that's super annoying usually. Grab my heel, and then it goes. So I have that inward rotation. It's a different way of doing that click. Yeah. And now also I can have, like a knee and belly, but it's like knees here.
Right.
So I can go this, and I can also go long steps.
Right.
But here I would say like combat base, yeah? Mm-hmm. So, and also when we talked about combat base, right. This is like, I can toes on the mat also here, but seal feet, this is middle. I'm not doing this, So I put pressure, and that's just it usually feels like like misalignment. So I can do those things on my own also. When we play side with open guard, then if I play it against you, my toes are up, my knees are like this, So, and there's also ways to play it like this way, also way more. But it's that pressure again, like toes and this, that also makes this leg, by the way, very hard to smash. So you can do those, I don't know, let's call them jokingly air tags.
Okay.
Yeah, very taggy, air clicks, whatever. So now we can, those pressures, but the key is I can do those pressures on myself. So I lock the joint, And that's the same thing you would do to me if you do a click like a leg drag. You will create that pressure in my leg, I'm really stuck. So I can do it on my own. And then this leg is really, really annoying to deal with, actually. So those, but I don't know how to call it. Air click,
Yeah,
So,
you're anticipating, waiting for them to make
and
contact.
then you can do your own kind of locks, lock yourself in place different way. So they have a hard time moving you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this is also like just quantum physics. I don't know what I'm talking about actually here. But I can make myself strong. Like a Aikido unbendable arm.
Sure.
Maybe it's that, maybe it's not. But there's ways to, like, again, make yourself sticky, lock your joints yourself. And in a way, it's bad because this is also heel hook position, If you do it, you will break my leg. But when you play open guard, I can actually use that structure to mess with you, yeah? So that's why those are interesting, and I guess it's ever-evolving theory or idea, whatever. So I don't want everybody to look at like, oh, this is it, and what's the flaws in there? And it's like, I use it, and I see where it goes, and it makes sense.
Where was the first time you saw a click?
Who knows? People always go like, what's the retrospect? How? I don't know.
It just happens, and now you're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah. So it's like mount frame. I don't know where I saw it. People go to Damien Maya. I'm not gonna say I saw it in Damien Maya, but I'm not gonna say this is my invention. Mm-hmm. I have no clue where it came.
It's discovery.
Yeah. And then when did you figure out panda? I was like, I don't know. You can't go really back because it's a slow I think the word is incremental, like change. And it's so slow you don't notice
And then it clicks?
Yeah, then it clicks, yeah. So we can make fun of that, but so it's still, like I said, it's still useful. I can still make sense of it. And if somebody is already context is there, I can go like, you know. And also sometimes I coach when I do that sound even, do this, And so then when I laugh, it's like a clicking sound, I was like, people go, what is a click, Yeah. So, so it's still good. I use it. Don't make big fuss about it, and don't put it in a box, maybe I'll change my idea about it, maybe add to it, something. But I find it useful to explain what I do and where to grab. So like a theory where to grab. One way, when you do those clicks, is like it has to be reachable, And so how to create pressures and stuff. And so for that, yeah. And I don't know why I call it click, because I think it was sticky, but people call it differently. So
when you first told it to me, I anticipated it as like clicking Lego pieces together.
Yeah.
When it clicks, like you can't go left or right.
Yeah.
Like that's how I imagined it when you showed it to me.
So that's the button, the metal button,
click,
the click,
yeah.
And then you have to really like, and I need that. I can be very sticky, and people like, and that's a space I need. And then later they know that I'm waiting for that, so they don't do it because that's I get, and they actually stay, and I can be sticky. Because if they're pulling away, this is too much, let's say too much energy, I have to keep them close. But they pull, okay, I push, and then I get my space. But they realize that, and they don't pull away now. So actually that stickiness, clickiness becomes easier because they want to be there, So first, if you do it, I think it's like you're using your fingers a lot to pull, and it's kind of tiring, But then you would say like, you do it wrong. Obviously, I do it right, And if it doesn't work for you, you do it wrong, So that's a third joke already. So I'm counting because I'm happy I'm in a flow. So, so yeah.
Can you give me a simple experiment somebody can do at home to see what traditionally somebody would do, like the back control hook, versus once the click is in, how much more control you get?
A simple one is, this is I think from Mendes brother actually. This is not mine. Typically you do this. Yeah, and the hips are pretty free, they move. I don't think it's a bad thing, it's a choice, And overall, I don't think legs should be, like the bigger theory is I don't think legs should be here. Okay. Yeah, I think the better is like an angle,
Right.
You can do certain things. Neutral hooks are like, the fight is never neutral, So, but what you can do is this, yeah.
So walk me through that, what are you doing here?
I just pushing the knees in and pushing the toes out. Oh. See?
Yeah.
And this is like Mendes, if they control it, I'm pulling the heels,
yeah.
I'm pushing the heels outwards, and then keeping the, and this is really, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we can actually, give me the hook, step over this. Yeah. So I can actually do this.
So this is a click
Yeah.
if you're shearing this and this.
This is, people use it, it's not like secret. And then you have to use other arm to actually free it. So, and then I hide my heels here, and so I have this, so, yeah. I'm trying to like find a hook also. Maybe I turn myself more because I don't like this leg to be empty. So I also need this click,
Yeah.
But there's different ways to click. Inside one I don't know, they work. I didn't give an example of this, but those are also clicks because your leg is under pen, yeah.
I also feel like you're weaving like string up and over and under and just like, I can't move this foot anymore.
Yeah, so there's a way, and there's no leg locks and stuff. And this is, I'm better fighting for top, and I like the hand symmetrical hooks, and you can do the same thing here. I can have this.
Right.
This is usually what I showed, and then hook, So usually, let's say, in certain contexts, not symmetrical hooks are better. Because you don't want to actually be behind him a little bit, You want to be always side because, attack different things. So, but for me now, that's a range. You can be neutral, and you can be staggered. So now you have a range to move, and you can do whatever you want. You can keep the neutral. Maybe you want to hide your intent, because if you totally like neutral, they don't get what you do, where you are, right. And they move, and then maybe you counter and stuff, But if I give you the hooks, you know where I am.
You can only go one way, yeah.
So you know my intent way better. So I lock you in place, but you know what I'm gonna do, and you know the options from there also. Because from the back, I have like like a cat in a box, quantum physics, Before you open it, you don't know where the cat is live or dead, So if you keep it neutral, all the states are possible. Yeah, now I'm talking like quantum physics. I'm an expert. Yeah, so like everybody else. So now everything is possible. But if I give you right away, option, then I know what I do. Then what can happen will more emerge, you know, what you have, what choices you have, what I have. So by keeping it neutral, you just keep every option and then you just see what happens. But that requires skill. You're more like a counter fighter, you know, so to speak. But then if you lock them in place, you can predict better what's going to happen. And it's good and it's also bad because they also know what you're going to do. But if you're really good at there and you've done it more, that you want to like funnel them to your sequence that you're more familiar with than compared to them, yeah. So in that sense, it's not bad to predict because that's everybody high level. They have their own winning sequence, you know. If they do some sweeps, they just been there so much, and you don't know all the counters, but they do, right. And the final they win. So it's not bad. But I think if you're a beginner and if you take some certainty and you don't know the route, then it's not an advantage you should take, you know, maybe. So yeah, so you can do both. So these days I let people choose, like neutral or not neutral, you know, and you have both, and then you play, and then you make your decisions. I'm not telling you what to do. So yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say, or
no?
No, that's a lot.
No more jokes.
Wait, did you really study quantum physics, or is that joke number 4?
Yeah, it's a joke number 4. There's like somewhere, you know, people used to make chit chat, you know. Marvel movies have done jokes about it, and somebody said, yeah, quantum physics expert like everybody else, you know. So, but a certain way it makes sense to talk about it, but I use it very vaguely. And,
sure. You don't have to be an expert. You just
you know, I probably for somebody that actually studies that, I sound really stupid.
You offended them. You triggered them.
Yeah, because there was one time there was a astrophysicist in my class, somewhere in a gym, and I talked about being, you know, doing hawking, you know, and keeping elbow close, and I was like, you know, here there's more gravity here, and that guy went like. And we talked about it later, you know. I was like, I was trying to imply that I was more heavier. The arm is very heavier to pull away because I crunch. But I said also, like, jokingly, you know, I feel like there's more gravity here. And it's like totally wrong. And I got a friendly lecture of just
how gravity works.
Yes.
You used the wrong term.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, it's a joke, you know, but sometimes you don't know who's the people. Sometimes they're white, but actually astrophysicists. So I was like, I still do that joke in that sense, and I tell it also. Yeah. So quantum physics is a joke, you know. I know actually a person that was a quantum physicist, so that's why it's even more funny. So yeah. Anyway.
Awesome. Yeah. I hope you've learned a lot from this. Clicks, you got to look for them, feel it. I hope you enjoy this experiment. If you want to learn more, you should check out, is it defensivebjj.com? Yeah. Defensivebjj.com. It's a great opportunity. I think there's a very cheap trial to at least see what it feels like. There's tons of content on YouTube for you to check it out. If you go to any of the Globetrotter camps, Priit Mihkelson's the guy you got to go see. Thank you for your time. And if you get a moment, please click on like and subscribe below. Looking forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you so much.